Hi, welcome back, and thank you for watching On the Town with Tanya. I'm your host, as you know. This week, today's guest is an English freelance fashion stylist and consultant. His Recyclomania movement set up the world's first ever vintage concession within a department store, sold out from 1991 to 1995 in Topshop flagship store on Oxford Street in London. He is an authority on vintage wear, and has done editorial, music, TV, film, you name it. You can find him at his Portobello Market boutique. Let's see, on Fridays and Saturdays from 7 to 5. He is what I refer to as the world people connector. Literally, this guy, I mean, literally, he can make anyone beautiful with his smile and his charm. Please welcome Frank Akinsete. Tell me if I said it right. Hey, come on, bring it in. How are you? Okay. Yeah, your sound. Let's see. Come on. I think you got to go closer. Is that what it is? Yes. Okay. Can you hear me?
Really?
Yeah, there we go. It goes in and out, and I'm not sure if that's distance from the mic. Maybe.
Oh, but let's see. Is that better?
Better, much better. There we go. We're in, people. We're in. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking the time. You are awesome. I met you at the market and I was like, oh my God, I have to know this guy because he's so fabulous and he's so wonderful. And then it turned out that you really are just fabulous and wonderful. So I guessed it right. But you know what it is that I love about you most? And I know you know clothes. I mean, I love your setup, the whole boutique. I love that. But I saw how you connect people like through fashion, and like that to me is like amazing gift. Amazing. Like I look through your Instagram and I go ballistic because I'm like, look at this. Look at this. Look, everyone. I have never seen one of your things where someone looks, everyone looks like, oh, look at this, look at him, look at her, look at this, look at that. Like all day long, I could be just franked out, like literally. So I don't know how you do that, but whatever it is, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you. So I had to have you. So fashion, let's see. What drew you to fashion is what I'd love to know.
Interesting. I've always had an interest in fashion. I think really it came primarily from my mother,
Mm-hmm.
and older sister, and so my sister's a lot older than my brother. That we used to get dragged around London, a famous store called Beaver in
Mm-hmm.
Kent, like big thing in 70s fashion. So as kiddies on Saturdays, my brother and I running putting out fantastic 70s fashions and sort of in all the high street of London. But Bieber's very memorable, and I say that's got a special place in fashion history.
Wow. So when was the first time that you knew you actually had style or wanted to be in fashion?
As I said, in my pre-teens,
Mm-hmm.
my mum and my sister were both very stylish, and I'd say that I always liked clothes. I always had an interest. Ironically, my
Mm-hmm.
first was in science. I did pharmacy because my parents wanted me to be a doctor. But
Ah.
I fashion. So when I was at university, I used to hang out with all the art students.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, here's the thing. So I know you deal specifically in vintage. Although I know you know probably all parts of fashion, but I know vintage is your piece of the pie. So can you tell us what the difference is between well, first I want to ask what's the difference between style and fashion? Like I see a distinction, but could you tell us? Oh
Style,
wait, yeah, come closer. Mm-hmm.
you have it, or you can't really buy stuff. You can get great stylists who can make you look great, but I
Right.
think style, fashion is what people wear, but style is what you put together. And I mean, I think one of the things about vintage, as it was then called secondhand,
Mm-hmm.
on a low budget or no budget,
Mm-hmm.
you put a look together. So a lot of fashion sort of has come from that, and that's inspired us to put things together. So that to me is style, really. Being able
Mm.
to
Yeah, how you put it together is very important because people don't know. A lot of people don't know that difference. They just think, oh, I have on Gucci. I'm fashionable. I'm stylish. I'm like, no, there's a difference. You just have on a nice outfit, and there's that anybody can put on a nice outfit, right?
It's like put things together, like sort of having innate knowledge. That's what's, and I think a lot to do with style is if somebody stylish, the clothes don't carry, they carry the clothes.
Right. Exactly.
Personality and their character, and I think that's really important about style.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you said it right. You have to have a good eye for that. What makes a piece? Now this is a confusing word for people: vintage versus retro versus antique.
Well, this thing, as the prominence of what was secondhand fashion has grown and become a thing in the past 30 years, antique technically should be 100 years. Retro is in between and a quirky term. Vintage really nowadays, because it's been appropriated so much, is is anything. I mean, if you look at a lot of the new stores, they'll have a vintage line, which is something they made now. So
Right.
it technically antique should be about 100 years old. Retro,
Yeah.
that sort of quirky term, which means it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily define age. It's more like sort of a feel.
Right. Okay.
Like anything really within the past 100 years, right up to yesterday, by the work.
Mm-hmm. Some of your words just went out. I'm sorry. It's probably the StreamYard mix. That's what it is. So, my viewers know that happens. Sometimes we get lucky, sometimes we don't. So don't worry. But the last end I didn't hear. The last piece.
And what I was saying is that like sort of vintage has been a word which has been appropriated. So it's anything from like sort of 99 to
Mm-hmm.
right, because everything nowadays apparently.
Right. Yeah, that's true. So why are those little House on the Prairie dresses so popular right now from the 70s? I feel like Laura. Laura. Why are they so popular?
Like so when we first met a couple of years ago on the market, the Prairie was the height.
Yes.
And I think you came in when it was at the peak. It's still a lot, but I'm getting drop it to you, Tanya. Both sort of dying.
The what?
Yeah, we're having this year there's been a big brutal change in vintage fashion.
Yes.
And I'm like, let's say what could have been more last summer.
Mm-hmm.
You can wear it, but it doesn't work in the context. It's amazing. I mean, it's got a lot to do with these kids bringing in like the noughties and 90s. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the look and the fashion. And I also think because times are quite hard,
Mm-hmm.
everything got a lot more brutal. So
Mm-hmm.
and it's tougher. It's a lot more urban. Like, like the Y2K kids, they brought in this like some noughties, quite that's sort of casual, very much like when I was in my formal styling career, like with the bands, like
Mm-hmm.
very much that look like some parachute pants.
Yeah.
Hardest of the side, not necessarily, like lots of leather bandos. It's tougher. So,
Yeah.
Prairie, like, if I'm honest with you, this summer,
Mm-hmm.
you probably need to be on a beach or some to pull it off. Whereas, like, it has got it's sharpened up.
Yeah. Well, everyone's buying it, and sometimes they're like, "No, no, don't do that."
I mean, my other big thing is the like my hippie trippy trail. The Indian dresses.
Yes, those are big too.
That's a big look where we are in Notting Hill Gate, West London.
Yes.
Like that's what I call the Real Housewives of Notting Hill dress.
That's good. That's what I was trying to find a name. Thank you. You just coined it. That's it. That's
Notting Hill Society, unless you've got a £300 or $250 block print, that's your entry point.
Right.
That is.
Wow. Well, what is that one of the hottest selling items right now?
I mean, like for the ladies who lunch, that's all my
That's
summer
all what? That's all what? Sorry.
lunch. You know,
Mhm.
great. My
Mhm.
posh ladies, that's the number one dress.
Oh, really? Okay. We didn't hear that. Wait, go back. Sorry. For some reason, I don't know why the sound's going out, guys, but it's okay. Just go back again because I don't know why. It's probably the mic to the distance of where you're at. Maybe. I think that might be why. I'm not sure. So I apologize because this that I'm using, the StreamYard, is a little finicky. So I apologize, guys. But go ahead.
Yeah, so as I say, my ladies, my Real Housewives of Notting Gate, number one most summers, and this is no exception, is the Indian gym print. Hip
Yes. Yes.
summer.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big thing here. I was like, does anybody not wear these dresses? It's a big thing. I mean, well, here's the thing. So, do you mind if we show a couple of clips from your Instagram so people can get what you're talking about? Because you're gonna see, guys. You're gonna check this out. I'm gonna put on Frank's Instagram, and if you can, go follow him because trust me, if nothing else, you will when you click that button every day. I guarantee you're gonna wake up smiling. You're gonna be like, okay, whatever, we can do this because this is the joy you feel when you listen to his Instagram posts. It's amazing. So here we're gonna show you some. So just hang out with me for a minute, and Frank, you hang out. Let's see, present. Let's see if I can get this right, guys. Share screen. Okay, share screen. Here we go. Let's go with this one first, or this one. Which one? Let's go with Katie first. Hey, Kate, let's try her first. All right, here we go. So let me see if I can make it bigger. All right, ready? Here we go. Can you guys see?
There it is, what took us so long to find each other, baby. There it is, this time I'm not wrong. In the sea of love, we set ourselves when waters were rough. Two in search of love with no direction. Fish were finding ample time, but catching wasn't enough. We couldn't make a sport of our affection. And who would dream that we would try to do it all? Ooh, girl, I never fell away from love so strong. And this love I never felt in any other. I trusted like a lighthouse guides the ship to land. I found it when you touched my hand. Ooh, there it is. What took us so long?
All right, so here's one. Let's see. Let me go back. And I did not stop sharing. Can you hear me? All right, so that's one. But here's another one, guys. Just check it out because you got to see this for yourself to believe it. Let's see. Video file fact. Let's see if I can get it. Share the screen and get the other one here. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Okay. Who's this? Okay. All right, so here's that one. And last one. Last but not least, guys, one more, just so you can get a, oh, you love them. I told you, I love it. Wait 1 second, one more. This last one, you have to see these because he's fabulous. All right, ready? Here we go. Come on.
Early in the morning, the light outside is blinding. You don't want to know. You're so tired of complaining, 'cause your 9 to 5 ain't working. While your dreams just seem to grow and grow. Nothing's clear, it's so confusing. Intuition's left you, there's no one left to turn to. Until you hear a voice within your heart telling you which way to go. Don't you know? I've got to learn to beat your mind positively. Try and find a way to spend your time. Positivity. Spend your days here waiting, and all your nights in wishing. And seasons coming.
All right, there we go. That is fabulous. You guys see what I'm talking about? I tell you, yeah, exactly, Emma, you got it. The music is always on point, okay? If nothing else, I'm telling you, the smiles and the people that you have are just priceless. Like, I've never seen one yet that I'm like, eh. They're all like, keep going, keep going. Then you get inspired just to smile. And then you're like, oh, and the fashion too. Like, did I see Kate Moss there?
She popped in. I mean, I did know, going back from the 90s, she was in the hood a couple months ago, and I was fortunate enough to have her come and buy from me. So
that's nice.
Also, business owners that weekend.
That's right. Wow. So that's amazing. Yeah, she's fabulous. And I love that everybody. I thought I saw Catherine Zeta-Jones. I was like, hey, wait a minute. She lives over near us. So I was like, was it her? I couldn't hear you.
Yes,
come close.
Is that better?
Yeah, there you go. Closer. Yep.
But we get everybody in Portobello. I mean, there's lots of Pearl there, Sophie Dahl. Always all the big designers. There's always, and I think with me, because I'm very comfortable, because they feel quite comfortable when they come to me.
Of course, and fashion, so.
And then it's just like if it's relaxed, it's like you know what? Come on, guys,
yeah.
You're hanging out in the market still.
Wow. Now, do you have a favorite vintage piece?
I would say my favorite pieces are now vintage. They weren't bought as vintage at the time, but they'd be all at Gucci pieces, which were very inspired by the 70s. So they'd be now. But I'd say my best pieces are very much like things you would see me wearing on a Friday, which is more of the in the market, But I like the lapel, the big flare. So so I've got some amazing pieces from my working with them. I mean, that's my. I mean, if we're saying, like strictly vintage. I've got fantastic Yves Saint Laurent 70s suits.
Oh, my favorite.
It's razor. It fits razor thin. It's one of those whereby you've got to fast for a couple of days before you wear it, but it's amazing.
You got to fast a couple of days before you wear that. That's fabulous. That's when you know it's super fabulous. Because the designers cut on a smaller bias back then, right? Yeah.
What it was like.
Yeah.
Literally not an inch over because there's one button in the waist, and like the lapels go like this.
I know. I have some vintage Diane von Fossenberg, and even that, like the buttons will pop if I gain 1 pound. It's like, really? Come on, man. You know what happened here? This is not how it's supposed to go. But back then, especially, they cut on a small bias, which is probably why all the models had to be a size 3 and smaller. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. I used to be that thin a long time ago. But you know, I know, you know, I think it's people's personality to get people to smile. But all of your Instagram, what is it about Frank that makes all the you always get people to give this infectious energy and love and light? Like, what is up with you, dude?
I mean, I genuinely, like, if in any context, I love people. I find them really interesting. I think that, you know, I want to know, and I think that people pick up on that, and they feel relaxed with me because it's genuine. It's like what you're on about, you know, and we just, you know, and I just find life and everything primarily really funny.
Yes.
You know, that makes people relax and they laugh, and it is funny. You know, and I mean, I think most people find it funny. Very few people like to.
Right. Wow. Well, that's my favorite part about your stall is I'm like, okay, even if I was feeling down, I'm like, I'm going by Frank's stall. I'm sure I'll be picked up in 5 minutes. Because that's literally, I've never seen nobody at that stall like, yeah, I'm shopping. It's like everyone's like, oh yeah, Frank, yeah. Oh, who cares if it's $100? Go ahead, let's buy it. I don't care. You know, it's like, wow, this is contagious. I want whatever that is they got over in that stall. I need to go. Say that again.
You know, it's really my great time when I'm there. Really.
Wow. Well, I think it's amazing. Let's see. Well, how do I say it? What do you repeatedly wear for yourself?
I mean, very little repeat.
Really? Okay. Well, I guess that's the fashionista sign, I guess.
There's things I like. I repeat a style. I mean, this year I'm always 70s.
Right. 70s.
Yeah, my big shift this year is I don't know. Maybe it's the weather, but the last 2 years I was very kaftan-y. I'm a lot sharper, much more body. You know, like some tighter t-shirts, big trousers. I'm more on that tip of the moment. Whereas before it's very like sort of late 60s, early 70s Woodstocky vibe, like hippie kaftans. But I've not been so floaty this year. I want to show off the old body, I think.
Okay. Yeah. No, I do, but I can't. The body's saying no, girl, not now. No. So you work out. I see you work out. You're doing. Yeah. You are very fit. Don't even try it. You're very fit. Guys, he is lying. He is very fit. Don't let him fool you. This guy swims, okay? You know what that means. Say that again. Come closer. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Women, gymming, you name it.
Right. No, no, you do. I know you work out. I can tell. You can tell when people work out. It's obvious. So you take very good care of yourself. What is a must-have in your closet?
I would say a really nice pair of flare bell-bottom trousers with I love belts. And you know, and then I mean, let's put it this way: if I had to do a desert island disc and run off with one outfit, it would be an amazing pair of 70s jeans. Yeah.
Really? See, I'm a 40s girl. I'm a 40s. I like 40s.
No, for me, 70s forever.
Really? I like, well, no, maybe. Okay, well, I wouldn't say forever 40s. I wouldn't go forever.
I love the 40s, but 70s all the way for me. I mean, it's very much.
I know why.
And it feels right. I'm a kid of this. But
it was a very happy time, I think, 70s. Right? Yeah, you're cutting out again. You're cutting out. I think you got to go closer to that mic, I think. The phone. Yeah. Sorry.
change, the civil rights, the flower. Very, very spiritual to me. It's how I feel. That's even now.
Right.
I love the fact that like sort of the 70s is like sort of the first. Like sort of it's the first like sort of teenage, really post teenage after 60s.
Right.
You've got all like sort of teenage group coming up, and you have all these movements, and I just love the shift and changes.
Yeah, I like 70s. I like all the flowers and stuff and the pastels.
Yeah, and it's my perfect timing, really.
It is. I mean, now that you make me think about it, I'm like, yeah, 70s is pretty cool, and everybody looks sexy.
But when we go beyond the flower pout, like late 70s, Studio 54, that's it for me.
Oh, that's my old boss, Stephen Rubel. Yeah, I used to work for him briefly.
Oh, no, that's my dream.
Yeah. That's the moment right there. Anybody that was in there during that time in the 80s, oh my God. And I know the 70s, I heard stories. I've seen pictures, but I mean, even up straight up till the 80s, I know it was still fabulous,
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, that was the fashion haven. I mean, oh man, don't even make me go. I'm having a nice little memory in my brain about that. So name something that you wish your customers knew about vintage.
I think that what I'd like them to know is that they're better off buying and spend a little bit more on a really classic vintage piece.
Yes.
That's the secret. Piece. It may is old secondhand, but if it's a timeless piece, it'll be around for another 100 years.
Exactly. That is the best advice you can give anybody for fashion, because people say, they buy bulk things like, they go to Target and all these other places. No offense to them, but I'm like, you're not going to have that in like 2 months after 2 washes. Why would you do that? Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if it's $27.99 and you're buying 20 of them, you might as well have spent the money on a nice Chanel jacket for vintage for $300 or $400 than to, Yeah.
That's my advice. And also just think about it as well, coupled with that, for people to start thinking about sustainability and moving away from fast fashion.
Yes. Disposable fashion, I call it. Yeah. Buy it now, throw it away, get the next one. And it's like, okay. I mean, unless you're like giving it to charity.
Think of the planet, because a lot of that really badly made stuff ends up in landfill, up that our own planet, really, to be honest with you.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that. I'm going to get to that too, about the work you do with that. I know you. Let's see if I got it right. Yeah, you boycott fashion environmental effects that fashion industry poses on the environment. I want to ask you about that. I'll get to that one. But what's the biggest challenge running a boutique in a market, and what's the best part?
The biggest challenge, if anybody knows England, is the weather.
Say that right. Yes, that is so true.
I'm an example of it, to be honest. The summer which we haven't had is an example of that. So for me, that's the biggest challenge, really, to be honest with you. The best bit, because I've had a shop, as you know, as well in the past.
Yes.
And as I worked with Topshop, and then I had my own boutique.
Yeah.
The best bit is that, you haven't got the crazy overheads of having a fixed shop. I suppose on a more realistic basis, the most difficult bit is that you have to dismantle every time you come and go. But there's a beauty in having a mobile boutique, because I have my own apparatus, like my own gazebo, my own setup, and I can go around the country wherever I want to, and I do at times.
Yes. So you can travel the world. Yes. I'm going to Ibiza. That's it. Yeah.
There we are. In your town.
Right. that's fab. I think that is fabulous. That it's, I think being able to be that, I'll call it portable and still the quality is amazing, because you used to have a Fifth Avenue, or well, to London, it's what's your street? Your street is which High Street? What, yeah. Say that again.
Street, Bond.
Bond Street. Yeah, your fancy street. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So being able to go around is much better. And I just think the market has been around for what, about 150 years?
Yeah, I would say for that celebration, 150 years, yeah.
I saw that. I saw that you were there for that. That's amazing. 150 years. Wow. Whoa. That's like my mother's 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 mother. That's a long time. It's such a beautiful thing, because it's the only thing we have left of the past. You know what I'm saying? Of the way we used to do things, barter for things and trade, and go around and say, hey, Frank, what do you got over there? Well, I got this. What do you have? That's the last thing left.
I mean, it's also very important. We're all come out of the pandemic now.
Yes.
However, beauty is that with the lockdown, after it, a lot of young people who didn't have connectivity before all of a sudden yearn for something. So that's why we've got this young influx coming in, and it's places where people connect in real time.
Right.
I think that's really important and very good and very beautiful. And I mean, that's part of the energy you get from me.
Yes.
And that we're actually meeting. We're not on TikTok. We're not Snapchatting.
Right.
We're not live. We're seeing in real time. I think young people are getting into it, whereas they didn't miss it before.
Yeah.
I think we've got people who say, "Oh, this is good."
Yes, it's fabulous. I mean, I was so happy with the energy here when I went on Portable. The first time I went to the market, the first time, and then when I saw your boutique and I saw how everybody just gravitates toward there, like they'll do everything else too, whatever, but your energy you get, whew, it's like, you need to be recharged, go by Frank's. I'm just saying, just go by 2 minutes. That's all you need. It's like going to the gas station. It's like, whoa. The people, everyone comes through, looks fabulous. When they're taking a picture with you.
I agree. They turn themselves out. I mean, people always comment and they say, wow, everybody. Well, I don't know what it is, but they are.
I don't know I know what it is. It's your charm and your smile and your grace. Is the hostess. I mean, you got all the things balled into one little thing, and so you don't even feel like you're shopping. It's like, I'm shopping. It's like, yeah, I'm shopping. It's like a happy moment. Like people going happy, like, here, $200, no problem. It's like, I love it. I mean, I used to sell vintage. I don't know if you know that, at Andy's Cheapies. Yeah, Andy's Cheapies on St. Mark's Place in the Village in New York City. And I was one of his best sellers. Yeah. To the tune of about 10 grand a day, at least. And that's old stuff, like 1800. Yeah, old stuff. Yeah. But so that's another reason why I love the market, because some of the things are so old. I'm like, oh, this is old. Yeah, it's amazing. Tell me, what are some of your favorite brands? I know you mentioned before a couple of people, but what are your favorite brands right now?
Right now, I mean, I'm a big Dries Van Noten fan.
Oh.
Costume now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I always revert back to vintage. I like old McQueen, like the stuff he designed.
Oh, yeah.
I knew him from his St. Mark's.
Really?
Is Dior. I'm sort of more of a traditionalist. I mean, I admire some of the lots of beautiful, lots of what I call intellectual designers, like the Izzy Miyake, people like that. But and from the Garson, and I wear that. But my favorites tend to be more like the classicists, like
Schiaparelli and Grease, Madame Grease, and yeah, old stuff. Yeah, that's my thing. I call you a fashion snob.
I'm not, but
Fashion
it's a label as well.
a label queen. Well, because it's not even for me. I mean, it's crazy to say that because it goes with the label, but it's not really the label. It's the quality and the time spent putting the garment together. So I'm very funny about stitching, and it's a thing of mine. So it could be from Target, but I don't know if it's going to be stitched that where if I turn it inside out, you can't tell which side is. So it's kind of bad when you go to fashion school because then that's the things you look for. You're like, ugh. And then my mom was very good at fashion. My mom was like, that woman can dress. Her aunt was a seamstress, so you know what that means. Yes. Let's go to Bergdorf and that Chanel suit. I want that. I want this. And it's like, oh, she's wearing Chanel, not necessarily, So I'm very much and now the thing about me is I'm a little punk rock. So I have one naughty thing.
I mean, I like that period. I mean, again, I reference that because I grew up with punk rock as well, and that's also do-it-yourself fashion DIY. So I like that as well. That came from bin liners and safety pins and jeans, and I wasn't a punk, but I was there. I appreciate anything which is like sort of innovative.
Innovative. Yeah, absolutely. Well, what do you think of fashion today versus 30 years ago, 40 years ago?
I think when you ask me that question, what strikes me the most is that at times when I look at the kids and what they're wearing, they inevitably have gone back to that late 90s, early noughties for their fashion direction. But at times, and maybe this is part of getting old, the things they've chosen, you've chosen the word.
You could have what?
The noughties and 90s.
Right.
You could have at least chosen something nice. So that's why I say, is it just because I'm getting old? But at the moment, I'm not particularly impressed.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I think that there are good things, but I think it's quite messy, and it's not what I style.
Right. Because I mean, to me, I totally get what you're saying. And I have to sometimes shut my mouth and be like, girl, stop. You're an old schooler. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Exactly,
yeah. It's like, that's what they want to do. Then, ugh. But I was like, but why? Because to me, no, you know what it is? I just feel like your style is what makes you. Right. So it's not even the actual garment, technically, really. It really isn't. Because I know people have a t-shirt on and they look so fabulous the way they put it together. I mean, especially in London, here you guys have fashion weeks all day long. Even your homeless people are fashionable. It's like,
I mean, I take back a bit of what I said because now you say that Saturday afternoon Portobello, this is pandemic.
right.
There are some of these Japanese kids and Oriental kids who are kicking out a mix of everything on earth, but they are fantastic.
Yes, I've seen them.
Coming through, I'm thinking, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, how did they do this? Yeah. Some of the things that wouldn't even be it would be against a fashion rule, but they did it. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah.
So there is something coming through. I mean, what I'd say is that, like, sort of, what is in fashion now, in terms of like the mainstream, I'm not that impressed. But when I see some of the ones that I've just mentioned, the innovators, I am.
Okay.
There's a lot of mismatches, and there's a lot of things which, as you say, wouldn't necessarily go together.
Right.
Weird makeup. I like the fact that this weird androgyny cut across genders. that's cut into fashion, and I find that very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, some people do it right. Some people it's like, stop.
Definitely.
Right. But some people you're like, wait, what? Come back here. Let me see this. Give it over here. Let me see. What'd you do? Yeah. No, I totally get that. And but that's what style is really is. You're able to take anything.
Absolutely, but there's those, and actually, on the flip of it, with what I've just said, that has to be qualified. Where there's a lot of, I would have to say, actually misses. I wouldn't even say misses. They're actually misses. There's out there as well, which are like, oh God, no.
That would be a no, please. Yeah, no, absolutely. But I take it all with a grain of salt. But I love clothes for this very reason. You can literally be anybody or do anything with them. Like I mean, you can go to like a old thrift shop and just pick through and come out with the most fantastic stuff.
Absolutely, but I mean, I'm giggling to myself because some of the themes going around are clearly ugly fashion or I'm a mess.
Starting with some celebrities, but I won't say that. I'm just saying, I've seen celebrities. I'm like, you have a stylist and you paid them for what?
About it, you know what I mean? It's almost dragged me out of retirement.
I don't know. I tell you. Well, what is there any? I mean, I don't know if you can say it, but is there any celebrity or musician that you think has impeccable style?
Yes. I mean, I like. Who would I say at the moment? I mean, I think Beyonce is good, but I like her sister more, Solange.
Yeah, I love Solange. Solange for sure. Yeah, Solange. Yeah.
Beyonce's good, but it's a bit obvious.
Yeah.
Solange is more my sort of vibe. I'm style one.
Lauryn Hill has a little style to her.
For me, she's a timeless classic. I mean, I tell you, named the guy Harry Styles.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Does he style himself?
Got help, but pulls it off. But he's very courageous, and coming from a boy band background, I really like what he does. I mean, okay, male stars who I love style. Lenny Kravitz. Oh my God,
I love Lenny Kravitz. Is he kidding? But that's because you're being biased because it's 70s.
You called me out.
Very biased. I was like, yeah, no wonder because it's 70s, and he's all in the 70s. Yeah, that's like me saying I love Jimi Hendrix the way he dressed. It's like, yeah, of course you would. And Mod Squad. Yeah, no, there's certain people that it's like, that is a great time when I think about it. Because Pam Grier and her fabulous afro, right?
That exploitation fashion, that's very much inspired.
Oh, what? Yes, they need to bring that back. Yeah, I'm with that. Yes, and the suede, right? Suede, leather, something else, studding.
See of it. It's like colors, exaggerated, and I love that. That's well.
Wow. Yeah, I love 70s. So thank you for reminding me. Now I'm going to go dig in my closet for what I have in the 70s because Frank said it's fabulous. Let's see. So you've done a lot with fashion, and I didn't even realize how much until I started looking into all the things you've done. But you used to do you still teach and lecture at what is it, BA Fashion Marketing, the university? Yeah. Okay. What you said call the fashion police, Emma? I saw that. What is it you like about teaching that you're with the next generation, or what is it that you like?
To be honest with you, in the past 15 years, people have asked me to come and talk as a guest lecturer at various universities throughout the country. And initially I thought to myself, oh God, I'll do it. And then when I did it, I get financially remunerated, but it wasn't about that. It's just having kids come up to me and say, God, you really helped me.
Right.
It's really put me on the track. And I didn't think I was that, I'm not a gushy person that I want to give back. But
right. It's a gushy.
that. I'm not all that, but I thought, wow, this is really, I've got, it showed me my soft spot.
Right.
It's come to you, somebody messaging you, or you see somebody who's going far. I wasn't their main lecturer, but they've seen me, but that might have inspired them along the way on their journey. Yeah, that's the thing. And also learning from them. I mean, it was kids who told me about 6 years ago that fashion was on TikTok. Yeah, that was before TikTok was a thing.
Right. So you learn from them.
With fashion, there's two things. There's nothing in fashion, but it's an ever revolving wheel.
Yes.
And and you've got to make young folk as simple as So yeah, so both those things. But yeah, it's quite nurturing for me, actually, to be honest with you.
That's right. And the workshops, what are those about?
Work. Some of them will be we'll have a project, and it may be a black jacket or black shirt project, and then we'll have, because I'm that's a lot of my career away from the vintage was being a celebrity stylist and music biz. So then they'll get an artist or a band throughout time, and then they have to build a film, a shoot, and do that with clothes around, say, a black jacket or whatever, and that artist, and then set something up. And that's what I will. Those are the sort of workshops that we'll set off. And I also ask them to do workshops with actual 3D storyboards. So in my days we cut and paste. It wasn't just Pinterest.
Right.
The kids found that really challenging.
Right.
And I think that's really good that they find it challenging, because technology is fantastic. Technology, but the fact that somebody doesn't want to, find something difficult, like cutting, or doesn't know how to cut a piece of paper and stick it on a board. Right. So I mean, that's part of the workshops as well. That's about doing things practically, not just on a technological basis.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. Tell us about because this is very interesting. You were the ambassador for boycott. The hashtag was boycott fashion, and you was helping tell about the environmental effects the fashion industry has on the environment. So, is that still going on, or what was that about?
I was, an ambassador for Extinction Rebellion, but I think that what I'd say is that I still see myself as fighting their cause, but some of their techniques have been a little bit too political, maybe not in mine.
I know that's interesting. Gotcha. I get that. I totally get it. Well, yeah.
I'm part of them, but there's a bit of distance.
Right. I got you. Well, wow. So thank you so much. You're awesome. I can go on forever. But you guys have any questions? Please put them in the chat box. You're listening to, there you are. You said what? Oh, okay. You're listening to Frank Akinsete, and you're watching On the Town with Tanya. Any parting word for someone that may want to be a stylist one day? They want to get into fashion. Any advice you have for them?
Just go for it. I mean, you may not, if you can't go to college or university, just try to do your own thing. I mean, there's the benefit of technology is you've got all these platforms now, so you can make your own online magazine, photographer together, to get together, put that out there. So you've got that access. But I mean, my thing is just go for it. Try and meet like-minded people and try and start shooting when you want to, But yeah, just do it. In the words of a song, follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams. That's that's the difference between times then and now. I've really, people say, oh, you always go on about the 80s, but I was like, before the 80s and before, people did follow their dreams and they didn't have anything. I remember when Roxana Floyd started, when what's his name, the photographer, Mark Baptiste, different people, Reem Acra, the designer, Reem Acra. I modeled for her when she started at FIT. We were at FIT together. And But look at her now, like, and I would do her fashion shows, and this is when it was just in the amphitheater at FIT, and I'm saying the Models Club, whatever they had. And now look at her, and look at well, you see Roxanne, RIP to her, but she went on to be one of the greatest makeup artists. But we were like, okay, I need to do a shoot. You do the makeup, you do the styling, and do the
right. Just get your friends. Just friends.
Yes.
Just have to go.
Yes, get your friends together, and that's the absolute way to do it, because I don't see that happening as much anymore. Now it's like, well, I'm going to charge you $500, and it's like, we're all starting out, dude. Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, I just think that that's you've got nothing to lose if you try and just go. That's
just go for it. That's it. But that's I hope you guys were inspired today. That's the goal of Frank, is that somebody will say, you know what, I've been wanting to do this, but I've been stalling. Let me just get it going. And so that's his advice. Just get it going. Get it going. There's no excuses. Yeah. And especially with all the platforms. Yeah. I mean, literally, I know someone that started a digital magazine. I was like, who would have thought of that? Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's, just, you've got all those platforms. You just put it out there and somebody might pick it up.
Exactly. When we do it well enough, it'll get picked up. And if it doesn't, at least you're doing what you love. Right. So that's how we see it. But thank you so much for taking time to be my guest, Frank. You're awesome. I can have you on all day long and go forever, but I know you have a life. We appreciate you so much. I just want to say thank you to everybody before we head out. Any last piece of advice before we go?
Get into that groove. That's my advice to everybody. Just be yourself and just say hi. Be in contact with each other.
Yes, that's right. I never. Okay, I got that. Someone was saying something to me. Yeah, no, that's it. You guys, be yourself and do your thing. That's really what fashion's about. Your own thing, not going and buying it out the store window. That's a big thing. Especially I live in the suburbs in Westchester, and that's the big thing. It's like, I'm going to go and buy this outfit. And it's like they buy something right out of the window. I'm like, girl, that's not fashion. I'm sorry to tell you. They're like, but it's Gucci. I'm like, it can be Gucci, but you need to be the Gucci.
Exactly.
You make Gucci. Gucci doesn't make you. Like, that's not how it works. So anyway, thank you. I appreciate you. And thank you guys. I want to see who's out there. Be unique. Yes, Emma, you said it. So thank you very much, Penny. I see you. Emma, Grandma Norma, I see you. Yeah, I see you out there. And I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? Norma. I can't see who's on YouTube. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. I hope you can at least hear me. I'll have to go back and say thank you. Thank you. And Frank, we thank you so much. And my viewers said thank you for being on. They appreciate you. So thank you guys. And we will see you. Frank, hang out for a minute. And guys, we will see you again next week, next Sunday. Until then, smile and be kind to somebody, because it might save a life. All right. Hang out with me, Frank. Bye, guys. Let's see.